have the songs flow in. There's a few thank yous and stuff, but it's pretty minimal.
I love that those people that were right at the front of the show,
I know they sang. I wish our whole audience was like that. I can say that right now for all the fans. I hope lots of Tegan and Sara fans buy this and listen to the commentary. For the next record, just so you know, we like clapping above the head. We want to start that. We want to bring that to North America because the Europeans are amazing and they clap over their heads and it's really great. And we like it when people move around, dance a bit. We're starting to dance now. We dance. Sarah doesn't dance. We dance though.
No,
bus. We get the dancing going on. Ted, we get some soda popping, and he wants to get up on top of the couches. And
he does really get a little bit more crazy these days. Yes, he does. It's funny though because this was a year ago, so it's funny to watch the show because we really have started doing different things. The bigger our audience has got, for so many years we were playing to kind of like a handful of people, maybe like 100 people, 150 people, and now all of a sudden when you're faced with anywhere between 600 people to 3,000 people or whatever, all of a sudden you really have to think about, okay, how are we going to get the attention of all these people? And some
fire on stage.
Well, nobody
barbecue, hand out hot dogs.
There is kind of like a participation factor, and I also look back at like some of the performers that we've opened for, and I think about things that they've done. Obviously Neil Young is incredible, and and watching him. I think we toured with him when we were 19, and watching him every night, the control that he had over his audience, the ease with which he could keep people captivated for 2 hours or whatever. Like it was extremely influential on us.
We've got 15-20 minutes down. I feel like the first 15-20 minutes of our show,
yeah, it's solid.
People are like, right there with us. But then between 20 and 40 minutes, I feel like
I see like girlfriends fighting with their boyfriends at the back of the club.
Yeah,
and,
the first half of the audience is still
out,
really into it, but the back half starts to do the shifting, uncomfortable. That's where I stand in the back half, and they shift and get uncomfortable.
And your hips start to hurt a little.
Yeah, right now you got the classics, right? Like Nine of Noises. You can go into like probably Monday, I think, and Not Tonight. These are classics from the last record. And you get people's attention for this part of the set. I feel like the middle part of our set, we definitely need to. For the next record, we need to bring something in because I definitely. And then after 40 minutes. We definitely start building it back up. Things start getting more intense. We get the back of the room back into it. Then you do the encore.
And then it's time to go home and cuddle.
Yep.
Not us. You.
Mm-hmm.
The audience.
Look at that. See?
There's a couple
front
people.
Front row clapping over the head. You are a friend. You may come over.
It's true. There's something exciting for us as performers when you look out into an audience and the audience is clapping over their head, because it's not just like a sound. You're not just hearing it. It's also like a physical.
It's like we should do the new thing. Old school rock. Well, even some new bands still do this, but they get their tour managers to go out into the audience and find like hot, cute girls and bring them backstage or whatever. Well, to like do unnecessary gross things with them and give them food. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna have our tour manager go out and get all the people who clapped over their heads and bring them back for food and just hang out. You can listen to Sarah. You can brush her hair.
I don't know if I'm into that.
Let's see if it happens. Next record, after you watch this DVD, next time we come to your town, clap over your head. See if you get to come backstage. It's like the lottery. Maybe 1 in 1,000 chance of getting picked to come back. But if you clap over your head, you might.
Going backstage is such an overrated thing. Whenever we go backstage at other people's concerts, I always feel really uncomfortable and wish that we didn't have to do it. Does it look like it's still recording?
Yeah. Yeah, the thing's running.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just it stopped doing the thing where it, that's what happens when you're lo-fi recording on somebody's PC. What is up with PC? Like, why do people even buy PCs anymore?
Don't know.
I don't have to talk to Craig about this, but yeah, Tegan, you just go over there and give it a little check.
Yeah, keep talking.
Yeah, I'm talking. So that's Rob Chernoff on drums there. Rob plays exceptionally hard, and he and I share that side of the stage, and so we often shared a connection and a bond that was unlike any other bond that I was sharing on stage with anybody else. And for this concert specifically, we were quite close together, for the shots or whatever. And I kept looking back at him. I don't think you'll see it really. Obviously, we sort of cut out the between song parts or whatever, but I kept looking back at him because I wanted him to give me some sort of sign, like things were going well, or just a wink or a nod or anything like that. And I remember that night specifically, he just didn't. I don't know if he was like in his own thing.
Stared straight ahead.
He looked a little, I don't know if it was nervous or just like, he was trying not to, didn't want to take away from whatever was happening. And sometimes it's weird, like on stage I'll be really highly aware of the band, and then there's other nights where we're just really clicking and I don't even think to look back at them. It's almost like we're like one giant transformer band. It's like we all sort of are functioning as one part of a whole or something, and or as a part of a whole. And then there's other nights where I constantly look at them to like, it's almost like I'm afraid that they're going to leave during the middle, like in between the songs or
Sometimes
something.
I think they have left.
Yeah, there's one time we caught Chris. He had like some sort of poker or solitary game on his cell phone, and I caught him doing that in between one of the songs when Tegan.
It was funny at the time, but thinking back on it, I just
It's
can't
so
even
rude.
believe it. So rude. What was he thinking?
I don't know. We're gonna kill him now.
One time, Rob pulled out a paper. He had like a newspaper. He had like a local zine magazine beside the drum kit, and when we talk, he'd pull the paper out. I mean, seriously.
They hear these stories. It's not that they hear.
I mean, one time I went to the bathroom while you were talking on stage, but I really had to go. I wasn't bored. I mean, I just really had to go. I mean, I was listening. I had my little ears in, and I was listening to you in the bathroom. I only turned the pack down a bit.
We don't repeat stories either, so it's not like they can be. They don't have no. There's no justification for their boredom. I mean, it's a new, exciting story every night, but I'm not sure what we can do to keep them entertained. I really feel validated when I see them laughing or smiling. It's like they're our toughest critics, you know. Like if we can really make them laugh, then we know we've really done something special.
Yeah.
Something that I thought, it's weird. It's always really uncomfortable. I'm always very uncomfortable with watching shows, live shows. When you're on stage, it just feels so different. And so when you're looking back at it, it's like it's hard not to be super critical of like the way you look, the way you sound, the way that you move,
Well,
or
also
whatever.
because it's just like records. It's like, you know, now if we went and recorded all the songs from So Jealous again, it would be 100 million times better because we've all developed and worked all the kinks out.
And yet maybe there was something captured the first time.
There's the
that it wouldn't
magic
be there
the first
either.
time, for sure. And it's the same thing with the way you play live. Like looking back at a concert a year later, we all play so much better now. We've been touring straight for 14 months, so the strength in the live show has, you know, doubled from this point, in my opinion. And I think we've all loosened up a lot. You know, when Sarah and I made the transition to get a band, we started off with a band and then went for years without one, you know, just because of monetary reasons and just because we really wanted to solidify this reputation of being singer-songwriters and performers and then bring the band in. We didn't want to get, you know, pigeonholed as just some like girl rocker band, even though that would be great too. It's about the songs, and we really wanted people to come and listen, not just, you know, drink and party at our shows. And so with this record, I feel like we finally have kind of loosened up, and we're not talking so much, and we're kind of getting more relaxed, and we're trying things more, you know, we're trying to be more creative on stage, and we're getting more involved in, you know, getting outside of our own box. You know, we really challenge the band on this record. Like, you know, I remember specifically talking with Rob about trying to get him out of his rocker box, and after the record was done, I remember him coming up to me. We were moving Sarah's futon out of her apartment she'd rented when she was in Vancouver, and him saying that he felt, you know, really grateful that he'd been able to do this record, and he felt like he'd really tried something new and challenged himself. And I think some of the highlights for me now when I listen back to So Jealous like a year and a half later are some of the drum parts, you know, on songs like We Didn't Do It and Walking with a Ghost. They're just really great, and they stand out, and the actual even quality of the recording of the drums is just so great. And there's an energy about this record that for sure if we went and recorded it right now, it would be really different. So to look at a concert like this, you can get really overly critical, but, you know, in the moment it was, I think, a really good show. It was a really fun show.
The thing that I found,
Like overhead clapping, that person, if you know who you are and you know you were overhead clapping at the Toronto Phoenix show and we shot the DVD, email me. Seriously, I will buy you, I will give you a Luna bar next time I see you.
A Luna bar,
A Luna
jeez.
bar. Well, maybe some apples from our rider. I will come out and I will find you. Seriously, thank you.